I just wanted to make a follow-up video on the episode that I posted the other day, the Alienation Is Real. This, I guess, would be episode 2 of what I think is going to become a series of videos that I'm creating. First of all, I wanted everybody to know that, what I said in that first video, I meant it from the bottom of my heart. And I know that it touched a lot of people, and I want to thank all of you that it did touch. That actually reached out and made comments to me, that reached out to Debbie and whether you commented publicly or called me or sent me private messages. I love you all the same for that, and I thank you for all the support. I had friends of mine contact me that I've known for 30 years that I haven't heard from in a while, and it just meant everything to me that, you're still there thinking about me. So thank you very much to all of you. So this quick little video that I'm going to make, and I promise I'm going to try and make it shorter than the last one, there's two things that I wanted to really address because there was two huge questions that got highlighted after the video was posted. So the first question that got addressed to me almost right away was, aren't you afraid of the fallout? Aren't you afraid of what is going to be said now by, both of your exes? And the truth is, no, I'm not afraid of the fallout of this. The situation has gotten to the point where, honestly, if I didn't say anything, I would burst. I really would. I'm at a breaking point, some would say, in regards to the entire situation, in regards to dealing with both of my exes, in regards to dealing with the way we deal with the kids, which isn't right. I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm not saying they're all guilty. It's just not right. And when it stops becoming about the kids, it doesn't matter anymore. So, in that sense, in the fallout and what they're going to say and what they can continue to publicly say, how much more damage do they think they could do? They've tried for 6 years. If the most recent attempts, they keep trying, and I'm still here because I have very broad shoulders and I can take a whole lot of weight. But even that has its limitations, and they know that. It's why they do what they do. If you're not familiar with what the term alienator means, or the type of personality that an alienator is, it stems from a narcissistic personality. They need to dominate and control the entire situation around them. And if they can't, they will destroy the entire situation around them. And I don't know how I ended up with both of my exes in that situation, but I guarantee you I have not looked for any of those personality traits in my now partner, Debbie. So hopefully that never ever happens again. And to everybody that it is happening to you, I feel for you. I know exactly what you're going through. I'm not claiming to be any kind of counselor or any kind of therapist. I just know a lot more than some what it feels like and what needs to be said and what needs to happen. So many things need to change in order for these people who constantly think that they're getting away with everything that they're doing. Something has to change to stop them, because those personalities are not okay when you're in control. And I don't even want to be in control. I don't. I have no interest in being in control at all. I just want to be heard, my say to be fair, and to be treated like an equal parent in my children's lives. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I don't think that's too much for any parent to ask for. But to an alienator, that's way too much to ask for. So that has to change. Rules have to be put in place. Judges have to actually step up and defend, because they see it happening. But courts are not designed to deal with it. Again, this is something new that's coming to the public eye in only the last couple of years. Before that, every dad that was a divorced dad was labeled as a deadbeat dad unless his payments were exactly on time and how deep are your bank accounts. Those are the only things that mattered. Those are the only things that seem to matter to the divorcees. Those are the only things that seem to matter to the lawyers. Those are the only things that seem to matter to the courts. And you know what? That's disgusting. And everybody who takes advantage of that situation from either parent, whether it's the mother trying to get their kids or whether it's the father trying to get their kids, anybody who's in a position of power that takes advantage of the parent whose only desire is to be a parent, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be disgusted by yourself. And you really need to take a hard look in the mirror and change what you're doing, because it's because of people like you that people like alienators feel empowered. Now, we'll get into that in a different video. But as I said earlier, the fallout from whatever happens from these videos, I can't stay quiet any longer. And I know that there are other people out there that need to hear what I'm saying, because hopefully, and according to, everybody that had reached out to me after the video, it does touch people, because there are other people that are involved in what, in similar situations as to what I'm going through. And for the longest time, I felt alone. And now I know that I'm not. And that's actually more empowering than anything I've felt in regards to this situation in a very long time. So, question 2 that was brought to my attention after the video was, am I not worried that I'm going to be pushing my daughter further away? That one terrifies me. I'll be completely honest with you, it does. Absolutely. But how much further can my daughter be pushed away? I haven't really seen or heard from my daughter in almost 3 years. The odd time I've seen her. That's it. In a year, I could probably count, or not year, in the last 3 years, I could probably count on this hand how many times I've seen her. That's not fair. That's not fair as to how many times I've been reaching out to her. That's not fair as to how many times Debbie's been reaching out to her. That's not fair as to how many family events she's missed. That's not fair as to how many family members ask about her. That's not fair as to how many family members just try to figure out and grasp what's going on. And because we come from an old school background, me being Italian, they can't understand it. My parents don't get it. My parents just think that, she hates them, which is not the case. No child and no grandchild grows up to hate unless they're taught to hate. And if you've taught somebody to hate because you inside are broken, shame on you too. Because hate isn't something that you're born with. Hate is something that is learned. Hate is something that is taught. And these children are taught to hate. It's so unfortunate. It really is. I don't understand how one person can be so torn inside as to teach, implant these ideas, these falsities into somebody else's brain to let them grow up to hate the other parent, the other part of them, the 50-50 part. That child forever will be broken. No matter how much mending happens, no matter how much, you finally get that bonding relationship that you're looking for, that child will always be missing something of their life. If you catch it early enough, it's the early years where the child thinks that you weren't there for them, even if you were. If you catch them later in life, my daughter now, she's turned 21 now. This really started with her in the last 4 or 5 years, which happens to be almost the same amount of time that I've been in my relationship. And so now I've missed a big majority of her teen years. So as this child of mine goes into future relationships, what will happen? as this child of mine wants to have a family of her own, what will happen? If this child of mine decides to get married, will I even be invited? Will I be the one walking her down the aisle? According to her, I'm dead. Even if she doesn't say those words, that is essentially what the alienator, the other parent that controls the child, gets the child to do. They essentially get them to kill off the other parent. The father or the mother, the parent that is not in the limelight, that parent essentially is killed off. So at this point now, being pretty much 3 years of this lack of communication, I'm terrified for my daughter. Absolutely terrified, because she should need her dad. She's taught that she doesn't, but she should. She used to. And all of a sudden she doesn't. Am I terrified I'm going to push her further away? It might happen. But my actual response when I was asked that question, my instant response, was how much further away could I push her? She's already gone. She's already gone because maybe I haven't said enough. She's already gone because maybe I didn't fight hard enough. I don't know what's going on inside her head. I don't know what the questions she poses are, but she needs to know that I fight for her all the time. She needs to know that I love her very much. And she needs to know that no matter what, and no matter who has something to say or who has an opinion of me, I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here, just waiting for you. In the meantime, I hope that this message gets to you, all of you. I thank you all for the comments that you left in the last video. And please, absolutely, the button down below, subscribe, because there's going to be more videos. And hopefully, maybe some of you can share your stories with me, because I might find something helpful in them. You know, maybe you have gone through it already and you've reunited with your lost child. Maybe you're in the middle of it and you're feeling as lost as I am. Or maybe you're just in the beginning of it and you really don't know the telltale signs. Please, share your story. I'd love to hear it. Not in a judgmental way. I just need to know some things. I just need to know what is happening out there that we're not aware of. We're not perfect. I don't know everything about this. I'm just regurgitating what I've read and regurgitating what I've learned and heard and watched and educated myself with. Maybe I can share. Maybe I can answer some questions. Maybe you can answer some questions for me. But please, comment, like, share, subscribe. We need to get the word out there that alienation is real. And that there are parents suffering needless situations because of somebody else's inability to share a child that you made together. Love you all. Peace.